see who can get ahead this week. And
Yeah.
this week is who is the worst villain from the films?
Yeah, so since you won, I guess you can go first. Who's your pick?
Right. So I've got two. You got to have a backup as always in case we agree.
Hmm.
My original first choice is Android 15.
All right. Well, we don't have an agreement, so go for it. Why Android 15?
So this is from the Android 13 film with the hillbilly
Yeah. Trucker hat.
Android, which everybody loves.
Yeah.
But the villain part of it is Android 15, the little purple dude. Now, typically, I'm not one to step into identity politics and stuff like that, but this guy is clearly a racial trope
Yeah.
beyond what you couldn't believe. I
Yeah.
mean, he steps into every racist category you ever could. I mean,
Oh,
it's like basically he's a tiny minstrel is what they've gone with when they've designed this character. It's so wrong.
yeah.
And even in the when I was looking it up to remind myself, because he was my first thought when you mentioned the category for this week, it was my
Mm.
first thought to look into. And in the Funimation dub, they even give him like a gangster voice
Yeah.
as well. So literally they've just went with it and they've just ran. And I just thought, you cannot do that. I mean, and there's the little thing of his little hip flask. It's like he's an android. Why does he have a hip flask?
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. You know what? Like, I'm gonna say it now. You're gonna win this week because I agree that he is the worst. Because when I was thinking about it, I was thinking like main movie villains. I wasn't thinking like side villains. So yeah, I agree already that he deserves to be the worst movie villain. But anyway, continue on.
I think
Keep going.
yeah, but in terms of like, but even as a bad guy himself, just is even if you take the racial side out of it, he's just a bad villain. Like there's no personality to him or anything like that. He's I think he in one of the dubs he literally just says Goku's name once, excuse me, or something like that. It's like there's no voice lines, there's nothing really to him. He looks ridiculous. The hip flask is just the dumbest thing for an android character I've ever seen. It's always bothered me. I don't understand it.
Mhm.
The fact that when Vegeta blows his hat off, he has three tiny hairs or something like that. It's like, why does he have three tiny hairs? If you're gonna give an android hair, don't make him balding. Don't give him a Homer Simpson hairstyle.
Ah,
Um, the only cool thing about him, and the only saving grace he has, is the way he dies, and that's when Vegeta does the charge through blast.
mm,
When they charge at each other, and his head drops off, and then he explodes. It's literally the
satisfying.
only, and that's literally the good thing about him is him dying.
Yeah. And it's deserved. He definitely deserves it as well.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like it's not something you just can't. I don't know. I mean, I know it's an old film, but it's not that old a film.
Mm.
um, yeah, I just I couldn't not go in that direction. I had to. He just
Yeah,
always stood out to me as a bad guy.
yeah, that's fair
Anyway,
enough. I agree, and he is worse than my pick. I already know that, and I think when we do the polls, people are going to agree with you because I also agree with it. But I've got to have mine in there anyway because I think some people might just think, yeah, this guy's pretty bad as a villain anyway. And I'm going to go with Lord Slug because,
really?
yeah, because I was thinking main movie villains. And, you know, as far as Lord Slug goes, he is literally just Demon King Piccolo 2.0. He is a palette swap, and that is it. And I think it was lazy and boring. And he wasn't an interesting villain at all. He had the same motivations. He just wants to be strong, get immortality, and rule. And that's kind of it.
Yeah,
There's,
I
there's,
remember scrolling through the villains, and yeah, he actually, now you say it,
Yeah, there's nothing special about him. There's nothing even like as the film goes, the film isn't really that special either. It's not really very good. And the only good thing that comes from Lord Slug is the fact it does show the giant Namekians again, which is cool. It's a cool transformation. You know, Piccolo doesn't do it too often, and we've seen it in Dragon Ball Super very briefly as well. But apart from that, you don't see it too much, and you got to see it with Lord Slug, which is cool. But that is it. There is nothing else good about Lord Slug. He is a boring villain. He is just Demon King Piccolo, recolored.
No, I think when you say it, yeah, I think he doesn't say I want to be my prime. He says I want like eternal youth. I think he says,
Yeah, I
um,
think so.
and yeah, but it's the exact same principle. It's just worded slightly differently.
Yeah.
Um, no, he is, yeah, because I was looking through like the villains,
Mhm.
because when I was looking for my second choice, because there's some bad villains in Dragon Ball.
There is.
The films are just notoriously bad. Um, like the films can be decent, but the bad guys in them can be awful.
Mm.
And like I read Slugs, and it was just I didn't even consider him because of how generic he is. So like I saw him, and I was just like, there's nothing special about him. Like he's so passable.
Mm.
Yeah. So no, I know what you mean. And when you make the comparison to Demon King Piccolo, not only is he generic, he's also a copycat.
Yeah.
So no, I can definitely see what you mean about being a bad villain. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I was looking through the list, like my backup, I guess I'll say, was Turles, because
Yeah, I thought about him.
he is pretty bad as well. He is just kind of Goku, but bad, which I guess was the inspiration for Goku Black. Um, but he wasn't very good. He ate the fruit to make him a bit stronger from the Tree of Might, and that was kind of it. You know, he was just Goku, and it was like at the time, I guess it was kind of cool, just because it's like, oh, what if Goku was a bad guy? What would he be like? And this was it. This is what we got to see. Um, and yeah, kind of worked, kind of not. It was just a bit boring. They did it a lot better with Goku Black, admittedly.
Yeah,
I think they kind of thought, okay, let's try and revisit what Goku would be like if he was a bad guy. We tried it with Turles, and it was meh at best. Let's do it again, but better. And they did. That's, but
why do they always give them weird accents as well? The Goku copies always get weird accents.
I don't know. I don't understand. Yeah,
Oh,
but
no,
Slug was my pick just because even the movie overall was pretty bad. Like they kind of teased Super Saiyan again, but they didn't do it. It was complete filler. Well, I mean, I guess every Dragon Ball movie is filler for the most part, apart from the newer ones. Um, but Slug is just Demon King Piccolo 2.0 recolored, same motivations, same everything. Nothing fun about the character apart from the giant Namekian form again, but that's kind of it. Your choice, a lot better. I'll agree with you. I'll agree. It is. You're
yeah.
gonna win. I'll take the L now.
Well, my backup, just for the sake of having a backup, I actually nearly picked Tails as well because
Mm,
of his laziness. Like, like Goku Black, the more I think about it, is literally just Tails, but ten
better.
times better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they literally looked at Tails and said, "This is what we did wrong. Let's do none of this."
Yeah.
And yeah, and they made Black, who's great.
Hmm.
Um, but my actual backup is the original Broly, not new Broly, not Super
Ah.
Broly. Super Broly's great. I love the Super Broly
Yeah.
film.
Same.
I'm a big fan. But literally any bad guy who you can basically justify his insanity revolves a lot around the fact that a baby next to him cried. Like Goku crying
Yeah.
next to him was why he's one of the reasons he's so angry.
Hmm.
Is the most ridiculous plot device I've ever heard in the history of plot devices. Like it's insane. It's actually insane. Like I know that they say like he's just generally insane and things like that, and it's like
Hmm.
that's fair enough. Like having an insane bad guy, it's not really new or anything like that. Like if they just left it at the whole insane, but Paragus was controlling him,
Mm.
like that would have been okay because they were just trying to lock up his power.
Hmm.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been the greatest, but it would have made sense. But then they chucked in that Goku, and it's like, why did you need to do that? You've totally took away any credibility from him. Like
Yeah.
he's being a little bitch about some baby crying next to him. It's like it's so insane. You should have just left it alone.
Mm.
You went right to the edge and then you just jumped.
Yeah. The only,
No,
I guess, redeeming factor of Broly is his base form, not when he's all powered up, is actually
yeah,
really cool. I actually really like base form Broly, the original Broly, not even the new Super one, like the original one. I thought it looked really
like
cool.
the introvert thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like he was all slim, he had cool clothing, he was unique with his hairstyle and everything as well. Um, and I thought, oh, okay, how is this going to work? Because he was kind of like meek and shy and quiet, kind of similar to Kaba in a way, I guess. Um,
yeah.
before he goes berserk, and it was like it was interesting. He was an interesting character. Um, and then when he goes berserk, and the reasons, like you just said, because of baby crying and all this stuff with Goku, which doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's when they
I
kind
think
of make the character bad.
yeah. I think the thing is like because you even get like explanation and everything of him. Like when Paragus is trying to put on his like mind controlling clothing or accessories.
Mm,
Like you see the terror in him before he manages to get it on. Like he's scared of it. Like there's a really interesting character in the surface there that they could have done something with,
yeah.
and then they literally take what could be a great character and they just ruin it, completely ruin it. I
Mm,
can't look at the character now in any way and take him seriously. And it's like again, I always make the Team Forcer references because they always get it perfectly right. Is that he's so cool, but he's so dumb.
yeah. And
It's literally because he is so cool. Like he's when he does kick off, when he does go rage, and he just like he's saying like I'm God and I'm the devil and stuff like that. Like he's really really cool,
mm,
and then like his transformations, everything's great, but I just can't get over that because of that. It's just too much. It's ridiculous.
and let's just completely skip over Bio Broly. Let's just
Yeah,
don't mention it. Don't bring it up. Let's not say any more on it. Let's just leave it
yeah,
at that.
that's pain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to bring Broly back for a third movie, but it was a bad idea.
Swamp Man Broly.
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah, he looked like a Scooby Doo villain. It wasn't a good look for him. It wasn't a good idea. It wasn't even that good of a film. I guess it gave something for Trunks and Goten to do, but even then, it just was a mistake. But anyway, uh,
They tried.
they did try, and then they quickly realized, okay, we can't do any more Broly films. We have killed him now. It's done.
But then they did do another Broly film, and it
They
was
just
great.
had to, they just had to start again. You know, they built up Broly
Years
one movie
later.
at a time, and then they were like, he's dead now. Let's just start again. It's too late.
Like, just let it cool off for a few years and
Yeah.
then go again. And then it's like it's just unreal the fight scene in the new one. I just love the new one.
Yeah,
But that can be a topic for another day, I think.
it can. So I guess our actual picks for this Hall of Fame, I've went with Lord Slug as the worst movie villain. You've went with Android 15, and I already know who's going to win. But if you want to vote, we will have polls on both Twitter and Instagram. The links are down below. Just look at our socials, go follow them, go check it out and vote. And next episode, we will see who enters the Hall of Fame.